ink-a-dink, 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 ink-a-dink. Wow. Okay. A blessed Sunday morning. Welcome to Basil BuddhaCat Presents! Exclamation point. We're in the second half of the Basil-Athon 2016. I always like to start off Sunday morning with a banana. Maybe we could, hold on. This one's got to have a label on it somewhere. No, it doesn't. Could be a Chiquita. Could be a Dole banana. Could be, could be any of a number of kinds of bananas, a number of brands. I mean, yeah. Although, last year, Cinco de Mayo, and of course now we've just celebrated Cinco de Abril, but Cinco de Mayo is coming up soon, so we'll be doing our Mexican hat dance. Who knows? We'll be in hour number 1,000, 1,500, who knows by then. So we're angling. We're angling for corporate sponsors. Now Basil turned Kristen and I on to plantains. So what separates plantain from banana? Well, it's more in the preparation, and it's more of a starchy. Basil said, meow, 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 meow. Said, shut up. Just lean over and let me tell you, then you can. Oh, how about that? So plantains. Plantains are, I think, they're generally larger. The way you prepare them is you like to get them really, really, really ripe. Don't try to cook them when they're green. Don't try to cook them when they're just slightly yellow. You want to wait till they're extremely ripe, and you want to fry them. And you don't have to put anything on them necessarily, but they fry up nice. They're sweet as can be, fabulous. I mean, you've had bananas on pancakes. Forget about bananas on pancakes. Plantains in any variety, much sweeter than bananas. Tastier, just a marvelous flavor. I love bananas. I love bananas, and bananas are a good staple along with your oatmeal every day, or any other particular cereal that you might eat. But plantains are, in my estimation, you try them and you let me know. You let. Oh God! His eyes opened up really wide for a second there, and the hair in his ears is just going. And he said, First he said, maybe you want to attach the microphone on where it belongs. Okay. I think it's been picking up. But at any rate, so probably pick up a little bit better now. And we like to put it on Basil's his peacock plumage. These are the kind of the back feathers on the peacock, and these are the under plumage, and they kind of hold up the iridescent plumage, the ones that peacocks use to frighten other animals, send out all kinds of good and bad signals to the animal world around them. And if you ever meet a peacock, and Kristen's got one on the mini farm in Ridgefield that she helps out once a week. It's good therapy. Where they've got a peacock named Pete, crack corn. No, I'm not going to sing that song. Basil's got this thing. He says it started, of course, with the Confederate flag and the horrific murder of the people in the church in Charleston, South Carolina. And Basil's always has been waging a war against the Confederate flag. He says it's not a symbol of the antebellum days where mint juleps and front porches and pillars in front of your house and slavery. Says nothing good about those days. I mean, more than half of the population in the states that allowed slavery, more than half of the population were slaves. They were owned by the owners of the plantation, lock, stock, and barrel. They could do whatever they want to them with them physically. They could work them from dawn till dusk, and later if necessary. They could whip them within an inch of their lives. No, they wouldn't want to kill them. They never wanted to kill them because, who wants to kill something that's helping make you wealthy? Who's that? Huh. Wait a second. Tweety, Snarky, you've got the ID, the caller ID for the phone up there. Who is that? They say they think. You can't really figure out what the number is because they're seeing two separate numbers. They're seeing a number that looks like it might be, from recollection, might be the number of the cell phone of Donald Trump's 12 cats. And of course, from the show, and what should I? What should I, Basil? Said, so you get this dude out from behind me. He's scratching the back of my head with his little hands, and he might even be biting me back then. Look at him. And at first when this guy showed up on behind Basil's head, we couldn't tell exactly whether he was Donald Trump, or as we like to refer to him because we have respect for his family name. Unlike him, we have respect for his heritage, Donald Drumpf, or as Kristen pointed out to us, probably it's Drumsky, which is Eastern European, and it's got the word S beep beep S mixed in there somewhere, SH bink S mixed in there somewhere. And we can't say that on the air because that would be tough SH bink T for us. So get back there and keep your hands to yourself. Okay. So okay, I know we've got Stephen Colbert, Bill Murray, and Drew Carey up in the hammock. Colbert's up there. He's been up there since the beginning of the Basil-Athon, because apparently when he left the Colbert Report, and before he started on what was the Late Show with David Letterman, is now the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, he had the camera follow him 24/7. I mean, he went up to up to an upper Midwest state. I think it was either Michigan or Wisconsin. Taped a show on a little cable television station, and you could see that on the internet. And it's pretty comical because he had Eminem on as a guest, and pretended like he didn't know who Eminem was, and that's okay because Eminem pretended that he didn't know who Stephen Colbert was either. So, and then they taped him 24/7, no matter what he was doing. And apparently they have enough footage to cover the first 6.5 years of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So he doesn't have to even do a show for 6.5 years. They got Monday through Friday, 11:35 to 12:35 covered going forward. And people just watch it. I mean, they think, well, it's Stephen Colbert. It's got to be funny. It's got to be good. And then they want people to pay for it. Apparently, you have to. If you don't have cable television, you have to subscribe to CBSTV.com in order to get it. So, we've got. Okay, they're certain now. It's Donald Trump's 12 cats, and they're all named Whitey. I guess it simplifies life when you've got. When all your cats are the same name. They made life easier for George Foreman when he named all his kids George. And, hold on. The micro inky dinky phone is down here somewhere. Oh, it's sitting on top of the Star-Kissed tuna. Chunk light tuna in water with omega-3s and, all those other tunas. They don't have omega-3s. They have omega-2 and 7/8. And that's obviously not nearly as good as having omega-3s. Let's see. Net weight 5 ounces. Drained weight 4 ounces. So there's an ounce of water in there. And that's I guess that's to be expected because it's kind of packed pretty tight once you get the water out of there. And endorsed by the American Heart Association. It's certified. Meets criteria for heart-healthy food. Heart with a check mark in it. While many factors, there's always the disclaimer. While many factors affect heart disease, diets low in saturated fat and cholesterol may reduce the effect of this disease. So, anything short of killing you, they got it covered. And even at that, they could probably say it's those porpoises laced, dolphins laced in whatever they're eating up, lead, zinc, mercury. The mercury they're eating and the tunas are eating, and it's. Don't worry about it, kids. It's all good, they say. So, and don't tell them. Tell them Charlie sent you. It's been that way for, I don't know, about 40 years. But Basil's angling for. We'll be with you in a second. Just hold on. Let's hold on. 12 feisty cats, and hold on. Hold on. Where are you? Hold on. The heck? I don't know where he went to. Wait, he's somewhere in here. Hold on. Oh, there he is. Come and feed your cats. I told him to come up and feed you. He'll be there at some point. So, okay. Never mind what we were talking about. Tuna. We're trying for that. We want to get the corporate account. Change it from tell them Charlie sent you to tell them Basil sent you, and then. Okay. So, Whitey, and Whitey. How's about you cats? Okay. They say, once that jerk comes home and has somebody feed us, we'll be doing a little bit better. So, okay. So, you know what? Hold on. Tweety is flopping his wings and Snarky's ears are going up and down and up and down. Oh, heck. Got it. We'll put you down for a second. Hold on. I'll be right back. What is it? What is it? Okay. Okay. They say Donald Trump was urinating on the floor. So. Basil said, I'll sue. I'll own Trump Towers. Give me time. I'll own that Trump Tower on Central Park South. On Columbus Square. I'll own it. And then we'll see then we'll see how well those 12 cats get taken care of. Whitey, 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 and amazingly enough, whitey. And they'll be saying, that's mighty white of you. And Basil will say, no, that's mighty whitey of you. So, okay, hold on. Okay, so, okay. They say they want the, they say that, just in case Donald Drumsky doesn't, show up regularly to feed us or have somebody feed us, maybe you could at least send us along a Hershey's Kiss Award so we can, mash it onto his gold lame carpeting and roll around in it a little bit and, at least, let him know we're thinking of him. So, Basil says okay. He says that's fine. And we were talking about this in our previous half hour of Basil BuddhaCat Presents. Exclamation point, Basil BuddhaCat. Basil-Athon 2016. We were talking about Trivial Pursuit. And about how George Costanza, in one of the episodes, he's going up to the cabin owned by Susan's family. And he's got an obligation along the way. He's got to stop in the hospital to see a young man who's referred to as the Bubble Boy. And the Bubble Boy says, hang around, play a game of Trivial Pursuit with me. And Costanza obliges him. And the Bubble Boy is just about ready to wrap it up. He's got his six slices of pie. And he's coming down into the center for the winning question. And Costanza reads him off the card, and the question is, who invaded Spain in, 1524, let's say. And of course the answer is, and the Bubble Boy gives the correct answer, the Moors. From the folks from North Africa come around and across the Straits of Gibraltar and invade Spain and says the Moors. And Costanza looks at the card and he says, no, it's the Mooks. And Basil's pretty sure, and I'll let him put it in his own words. Said, I'm pretty sure that Robbie Mook, who's the one of the campaign directors for Hillary Clinton's campaign, Basil's been on the phone with Mook's cat, and I'm not even going to. Should I even ask you what the name of Robbie Mook's cat is? The name of Robbie Mook's cat is. Ask me any question you want to. Just don't put the don't turn the microphone on. Okay, so he says he's been negotiating with Robbie Mook, and Robbie Mook's cat. Ask me any question you want. Just don't turn the microphone on. And to do a commercial for the Clinton campaign, and we know that coming up is New York State, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is ahead in pledged delegates by, I believe it's 219 pledged delegates. Bernie Sanders has about 46% of pledged delegates. Hillary Clinton has about 54% of pledged delegates. The states that are coming up after New York, possibly including New York if we do well there, those states are ripe for the picking for Bernie Sanders. He's still a little bit behind in California, but the latest polls all look around 47 to 41%, with some unknowns aside from that. But so about a 6% lead. In New York, it's at this point about was at 12, 14%. The most recent ones are 10%. Almost 2 weeks till the primary, and wow, have you seen how the media? Boy, I'll tell you, the media is really jumping. I mean, they've been jumping on the Clinton bandwagon on the national media since day one. And I guess when you've got a lot of power, when you've got PACs that are being financed by corporate interests, then you could lay a little pressure on corporate media to say only nice things about the candidate that you're putting all this money into. Basil said, "Don't forget to mention." No, he said, "Meow, meow, meow, yeah." So don't forget to mention how just because Senator Clinton, former Senator Clinton in New York State, former Secretary of State, former First Lady to her husband, President Bill Clinton, just because her super PACs that are doing advertising for her, just because they've taken in $16 million, doesn't mean that Bernie Sanders hasn't had some PAC contributions. He's had, of course, he's gotten some assist from MoveOn.org, the liberal-leaning group that was originally started, actually, ironically enough. MoveOn.org was begun, and it was called Move On because the investigation of Bill Clinton, which started off as an investigation of Whitewater property holdings in Arkansas, ended up being about 600 other various items that were alleged against the Clintons. And I guess it was alleged they killed 50 prominent people. Ron Brown, a campaign manager, died in a plane crash, of course, along with like 70 other people, which weren't affiliated with the campaign. All kinds of folks. Vince Foster, who was an attorney for the Clintons. All kinds of people that allegedly they've murdered, and then it ended up. The best I could come up with was a blue dress case where Bill Clinton, who had a liking for women and Cuban cigars, figured he'd put the two of them together and see how that worked. And it was kind of disgusting and kind of revolting, and he certainly dishonored the presidency by not just being smart enough to just admit that, he had an affair with her. He had an affair with Monica Lewinsky. He should have done that, but politicians sometimes, think they're above the fray and they don't need to admit it when there's any wrongdoing involved. So yada yada yada. So there. Okay. So MoveOn was started as a reminder to America that, hey, this is baloney. Let's move on. And important to say that plug out to my good friend Jim Dean, head of Democracy for America, an organization of about a little bit over 1 million members. Democracy for America stood behind Bernie Sanders, and it's the first time they've stood behind a candidate for national office in their history, because they require, I think it's 70 or 75% agreement from all their members in an online poll to endorse that candidate, to go along with that, because that's a serious endorsement. And okay. Okay, Basil says he wants everybody to know that nobody wants there to be a woman president in America. We're overdue. Long overdue. So that's going to be a great day when we have a woman president. He liked Elizabeth Warren, because Elizabeth Warren was a female who believes in everything that Bernie Sanders believes in. So for Basil, it was a natural. It was a woman, which would be great, and it was a progressive who would fight hard for real American citizens against corporations. And turns out she chose not to run. And at that point, Clinton was a foregone conclusion. Hillary Clinton was the candidate. Everybody thought she was going to be the candidate. There was no doubting that. And then along came Bernie Sanders and said, wait a second, let's talk about these issues. And those issues have resonated. And now Bernie's gotten 46+% of the primary delegates. He hasn't gotten 46% of the voters because he's done better in caucuses, but a caucus is still a caucus. It's still a vote. It's still a state. Not as many people come to a caucus as go vote in a primary, but big deal. So her claim about being millions of votes ahead is only because she, I guess, maybe doesn't count caucus goers as voters, or only counts one caucus goer as the equivalent of one person that goes to a voting booth and votes for a candidate. So at any rate, here we are. We're coming into New York. At the convention in Philadelphia, there will not be a candidate, guaranteed there will not be a candidate that has 2,300 plus pledged delegates. Just not going to happen, because there are 700 superdelegates. And those superdelegates, like it or not, are going to be the ones that put one of the candidates over the ledge and into the nomination. So, okay, enough. Basil says, enough of that. Let's go back to watching regressive soup. Never mind.
They're in a fair amount of, it's about a fifth of Connecticut, because there are 5 districts.
Okay. We'll find it for you, Basil. It's on there somewhere. Okay. So I'm David Stevenson, Basil's co-host, interpreter-in-chief gopher. Have a blessed Sunday, and we'll see you in the next hour, or somewhere thereafter. Bye.
They say they'd rob your grandma blind on Wall Street, fritter her away her Medicare on Wall Street. And Pharma Oil and their pet fox don't care if she lives in a box, so long as they wear platinum jocks on Wall Street, Meow.